The Adventures of Pinocchio. Chapter 8. Geppetto makes Pinocchio a new pair of feet and sells his coat to buy him an ABCD book. The marionette, as soon as his hunger was appeased, started to grumble and cry that he wanted a new pair of feet. But Master Geppetto, in order to punish him for his mischief, left him alone the whole morning. After dinner he said to him, "Why should I make your feet over again? To see you run away from home once more?" "I promise you," answered the marionette, sobbing, "that from now on I'll be good." "Boys always promise that when they want something," said Geppetto. "I promise to go to school every day, to study, and to succeed. Boys always sing that song when they want their own will. But I'm not like other boys. I'm better than all of them, and I always tell the truth. I promise you, Father, that I'll learn a trade and I'll be the comfort and staff of your old age." Geppetto, though trying to look very stern, felt his eyes fill with tears and his heart soften when he saw Pinocchio so unhappy. He said no more, but taking his tools and 2 pieces of wood, he set to work diligently. In less than an hour the feet were finished, 2 slender, nimble, quick feet, strong and quick, modeled as if by an artist's hands. "Close your eyes and sleep," Geppetto then said to the marionette. Geppetto closed his eyes and pretended to be asleep, while Geppetto stuck on the 2 feet with a bit of glue melted in an eggshell, doing his work so well that the joint could hardly be seen. As soon as the marionette felt his new feet, he gave one leap from the table and started to skip and jump around as if he had lost his head from very joy. "To show how grateful I am to you, Father, I'll go to school now. But to go to school I'll need a suit of clothes." Geppetto did not have a penny in his pocket, so he made his son a little suit of flowered paper, some pairs of shoes from the bark of the tree, and a tiny cap from a bit of dough. Pinocchio ran to look at himself in a bowl of water, and he felt so happy that he said proudly, "Now I look like a gentleman." "Truly," answered Geppetto, "but remember that fine clothes do not make the man unless they are neat and clean." "Very true," answered Pinocchio, "but in order to go to school I still need something very important." "What is it?" "An ABCD book." "To be sure, but how shall we get it?" "That's easy. We'll go to a bookstore and buy it." "And the money?" "I have none." "Neither do I," said the old man sadly. Pinocchio, though a happy boy always, became sad and downcast at these words. When poverty shows itself, even mischievous boys understand what it means. "What does it matter, after all?" cried Geppetto all at once, but as he jumped up from his chair, putting on his old coat, full of darns and patches, he ran out of the house without another word. After a while he returned. In his hands he had the ABC book for his son, but the old coat was gone. The poor fellow was in his shirt sleeves, and the day was cold. "Where's your coat, Father?" "I have sold it." "Why did you sell your coat?" "It was too warm." Pinocchio understood the answer in a twinkling, and, unable to restrain his tears, he jumped onto his father's neck and kissed him over and over. The Adventures of Pinocchio. Chapter 9. Pinocchio sells his ABCD book to pay his way into the marionette theater. See Pinocchio hurrying off to school with his new ABC book under his arm. As he walked along, his brain was busy planning hundreds of wonderful things, building hundreds of castles in the air. Talking to himself, he said, "In school today, I'll learn to read, tomorrow to write, and the day after tomorrow I'll do arithmetic. Then, clever as I am, I can earn a lot of money. With the very first pennies I make, I'll buy Father a new cloth coat." "Cloth, did I say? No, it shall be of gold and silver with diamond buttons. The poor man certainly deserves it, for, after all, isn't he in his shirt sleeves because he was good enough to buy a book for me? On this cold day, too. Fathers are indeed good to their children." As he talked to himself, he thought he heard sounds of pipes and drums coming from a distance. Pee, 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 zum, zum, zum. He stopped to listen. Those sounds came from a little street which led to a small village along the shore. "What can that noise be? What a nuisance, I have to go to school. Otherwise, there he stopped, very much puzzled. He felt he had to make up his mind for either one thing or another. Should he go to school or should he follow the pipes? Today I'll follow the pipes, and tomorrow I'll go to school. There's always plenty of time to go to school, decided the little rascal at last, shrugging his shoulders. No sooner said than done. He started down the street, going like the wind. Off he ran, and louder grew the sounds of the piping drum. Pee, 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 zum, 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 zum. Suddenly he found himself in a large square full of people standing in front of a large little wooden building painted in brilliant colors. What is this house? Pinocchio asked a little boy near him. Read the sign and you'll know. I'd like to read, but somehow I can't today. Oh, really? Then I'll read it to you. Know then that written in letters of fire I see the words Great Marionette Theater. When did the show start? It is starting now. And how much does one pay to get in? 4 pennies. Pinocchio, who was wild with curiosity to know what was going on inside, lost all his pride and said to the boy shamelessly, Will you give me 4 pennies until tomorrow? I'll give them to you gladly, answered the other, poking fun at him, but just now I can't give them to you. For the price of 4 pennies I'll sell you my coat. If it rains, what shall I do with a coat of flowered paper? I cannot take it off again. Do you want to buy my shoes? They are only good enough to light a fire with. What about my hat? Fine bargain indeed. A cap of dough. The mice might come and eat it from my head. Pinocchio was almost in tears. He was just about to make one last offer, but he lacked the courage to do so. He hesitated. He wondered. He could not make up his mind. At last he said, Will you give me 4 pennies for my book? I'm a boy, and I buy nothing from boys, said the little fellow with far more common sense than the marionette. I'll give you 4 pennies for our ABC book, said a rag picker who stood by. Then and there the book changed hands. And to think that poor old Geppetto sat at home in his shirt sleeves, shivering with cold, having sold his coat to buy that little book for a son.